this video I'm going to show you how to create an engraving background to give you that fill for a solid engraving design. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do a straight line design, and I want to make sure that I'm not using too small of a number here, so I'm going to go up to 1/8. It'll just make it easier for me to make my line in the snap position, and then I'm going to open Node Editing. In the Node Editing toolbar, I want to go ahead and select the pen tool and create a straight line. So I'm just going to go ahead and click and then bring my line over and right click to finish my line. Now I'm done with Node Editing, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. I select the line, and what I want to do is duplicate this line. I'm going to use the shortcut Control-D, and I'm going to make 100 rows. That's the maximum that I can make at one time. And my spacing is going to be 0.01, and that brings them really tight together. Go ahead and click Apply, and then what I want to do is I want to join these together. So now these 100 lines look like they're one shape, and then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate those as well. And this time I'm going to try 11. So 11 rows, and now I've pretty much filled my whole mat, so I have a good solid background for a large number of shapes or a large shape. I'm going to click Apply, and then I'm going to join these together as well. And then the last step is I'm going to create a shadow layer. The shadow layer is going to pull everything together and give me that solid outline layer as well. So I'm going to give it a 0.05 shadow layer. I'm going to check on the blacked out box and auto simplify, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Accept. It may take just a moment to process the information, and then I want to go ahead and join that shadow layer to my set of lines. So now I have actually one shape left. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my empty layers over here, so I have just the one. And I want to save this so I don't have to recreate this every single time. So I'm going to export to basic shapes, and I'm going to call this Engraving Solid Fill, and then click Add, and that way it'll be in my basic shapes the next time I want to use it. So once you have this engraving fill done, it's just a series of, in this case, 1,000 or so lines. You can zoom in and you can see that there's actually individual lines in there, but they don't appear to be individual lines when you back it out. And that's what's going to give that solid fill that we're looking for. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some text. And in this case, I've got a mirror coming up, and I want to make the height of that about 2 inches. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that and put it over top of the background fill, and I'm going to select both of those. And so now that both of those are highlighted, I'm going to right click, Shape Magic, Boolean Join, and I'm going to remove B from A in this case. If, for example, the layers were reversed, I might have to do the B minus A difference. Click Apply, and now what I have is a great engraving fill. And again, as we zoom in, we can see those individual lines, but when I engrave this, it's going to give us that solid looking fill for the engraving. So that's one of the options that you have, and that's just the line, and you can see that picture in the Team K&K post. And then another option that we have is to use shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use the star shape to create a shaped background or fill. And so let's go ahead and grab a star, and then what I want to do with that star is I want to take that and I want to do duplicate, nested duplicate, and I'm going to create that star 100 times, and I'm going to use a gap of 0.5 millimeters, and then I'm going to preview it and see how that looks for me. Now with 100 layers, it's going to take a little bit of time for my computer to process all of this information and bring that star nested duplicate in. So I just got to be patient a moment. I'm going to go ahead and pause it and come back to you once it's done. Alright, so zip, 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 just like that, we're just about done, and it's going to give us that preview of our 100 nested stars. Okay, so this is taking up a large space there on my mat. I can see that it's gonna be large enough that I can use the center part of that star to create something. So I'm going to go ahead and click accept, and then I want to make sure I join those together. And then I'm going to do another nested duplicate. And then this time the gap's going to be a negative number, and probably not quite as many. Okay, now I can see that my star is filled in, and I'm going to go ahead and click accept. I didn't like that one. I'm going to go all the way to the inside, and I'm going to do another nested duplicate because I want to make sure that it's filled in all the way to the inside. Okay, so now it looks like a solid shape, and I'm going to go ahead and select everything on the mat, and I'm going to join them together. And then I have to do that final step of creating a shadow layer. And this does take a little bit of time again. Okay, so I have my shadow layer again. We want that to be blacked out. And go ahead and click accept, and then make sure we join it with the other shapes. So now we have a single shape on the mat. So this is my star fill, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and export that to basic shape as well. And give it a name. And so now when we zoom in, we can see we've got all these different facets that we can use for our shape that we want to fill. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Elmira again, and I'm going to make it 2 inches tall again. And I'm going to place Elmira over the star. And I want to figure out exactly where I want that center star to radiate from, and I think I'm close. I think I like it right there. So I'm going to zoom back out, and I see the Elmira, so I'm going to go ahead and select everything on the page, and then do my shape magic, Boolean join, and wait for it to process all that data. It'll take just a moment. Okay, and once it's done, then we'll go ahead and do that A minus B difference. Click apply, and then I'm going to zoom in so we can see what it looks like. Wow, love it. So this is then the star fill pattern for engraving, and that really gives it a fantastic look. You can do it with a number of different shapes. I've actually created some using diamonds, gems. So if I bring in this engraving diamond, let's take a look, and I'll bring in the gem too. Okay, close that out. And so here are my engraving diamond shape and my engraving gemstone shape. And so you can really give your engraving projects a whole different look and feel, and I really enjoy how these geometric shapes really give more texture like to your engraving projects. So hopefully I didn't go through that too fast. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at Kuttin with KNK@gmail.com. That's CUTTIN with KNK@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.